Hi, I'm Bart Hansen. I'm the owner and lead instructor for CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the instructions in the video description.
This was at the end of the night. It was actually my last hand because I had run out of time. So,
Okay. Yeah.
I was playing my button. It's a 1-3 effective stack of about a grand 21.
Okay.
10-21.
Okay.
I have the button straddle on. So
Okay.
the small blind, who's probably $2,500 down, and he's been reduced to buying in for $300 or $400 and randomly going all in. He calls for 6. The big blind calls for 6. MP1, who's what I would classify a loose aggressive, pretty good player, calls for 6. A tight aggressive player and low jack calls for 6 and comes to me on the button, and I have ace, queen of clubs.
So you're in the straddle. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 limps, and you've got ace, queen of clubs.
4 limps.
4 limps. 1, 2,
Small
3.
blind, big
Yeah.
blind. Yeah.
Pretty good spot. Pretty good spot for you.
Well, yeah, and so I went ahead and took it up to 41.
Okay. What are around? So yeah. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you've got. I don't know what the standard open is in your game. Maybe it's a 20 at 1-3 before limps. Is it 15 or 20? Because you're playing 1-3-6, right? So
yeah, we're playing if the straddle is on. Because the straddle, not everybody straddles on the button.
Okay. So it's not like all the time. Okay. Then that does make a difference. So you make it 41. Okay.
Yeah. Normally it would be 15 if the straddle wasn't on, and maybe 25 if the straddle's on. So
I got you.
Because of the number. All right. So I go to 41, and the flop comes.
And who calls pre-flop? Does everyone call?
The small blind calls. He's the loose cannon. Big blind folds.
Yep.
MP1 calls, and the low jack calls. So 4 to the flop.
Okay, 4 to the flop, like about maybe like 165 or something like that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, right. The flop comes 10 of clubs, 6 of diamonds, 6 of clubs.
So you flop the nut flush draw.
I sure do.
Okay.
I sure do.
Yep.
And it checks around. So this is the first choice. Now, my sense was I could get blown off my equity here. I felt that, a couple of the players in the hand are those that, any weakness, they're going to come after the pot. And I'm the only guy who, for sure doesn't have a 6, in this in this configuration.
Well, yes, you don't have a 6, but I mean, if I'm going to assume that everyone has about $1,000 stacks just to eye it, to visualize it, like I don't think that I would be checking this flop back all that much. I mean, you can sometimes do this, but I would tend to do it on more boards where, you're sort of out of position and all you sort of have is like just some sort of kind of dryish flush draw, something like that. Like I had a hand where like I had opened live at the bike the other night with king 10 from under the gun, and the board came out like queen, queen, jack, and like 5 people called in the field. In that spot, I proceeded with the check and a check call. Sometimes like if you raise with like ace 5 of hearts and you get 5 people to call and the board comes out like queen, jack, 8 with 2 hearts, maybe you check call with ace 5 of hearts. But here you're in position. You've got 2 overcards to the 10 and the nut flush draw. You guys are deep. I would bet here like a ton to sort of build a pot up. You can leverage the people in the middle that they're going to have to fold off. Now, when you say you don't want to get blown off of your equity, the only way that you would ever get blown off your equity is if somebody like check jammed you all in, which would be somewhat suspect anyways. I mean, you can certainly bet call to a raise here, right?
Well, yeah, and I agree with you. 90% of the time, I'm going to bet here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just this particular time, I guess, I was playing a little bit scared, because at this point,
You're deep?
Yeah, I'm ready to go home, right?
I see, because it's your last hand. Okay, I get you. So it's kind of a combination of you've got a lot of money in front of you, and it's you're just going to try to see a card here because you don't want to play a huge pot at the end of the session.
1 foot out the door and that sort of thing.
I get it. I get it. I mean, obviously, at least you're aware of that, obviously. All right, so checks back.
No, this is the classic continuation bet, all the equity in the world.
Yeah.
So anyways, the flop comes 7 of clubs.
Turn comes 7 of clubs. So you turn you turn the ace high flush. There's a straight flush out there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I turn the nut flush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the small blind checks.
Okay.
In MP1, who I think is the most aggressive sort of bluffy type player, comes out with a $135 bet. So 2/3 the pot basically.
Mm-hmm.
The low jack calls.
Yeah.
Right. So now it's my turn to act, and this is my biggest question: is I felt I had to raise here, right? I mean, I just felt I'd be too much of a nit to not raise at all.
Yeah, I mean, if it was just the MP1 and you somehow thought that, like, I don't know how old a guy you are, but you thought that he might try to just barrel you and you wanted to make your hand look like you just had one club in it, possibly I could see flatting if it was heads up. But here somebody's going to have something, and even I understand if you wake up it sort of looks strong, but you guys are deep, like you sort of live for these spots. Like if you just call, the pot's going to be 500, but you still have like 700 or 800 left. Like you could probably just overcall if you were a little bit shallower. But I just don't expect people to really fold here. And given this line, I think that when you don't bet the flop also too, where a lot of people are going to expect you to bet with a flush draw, then I would probably start putting money in here. I understand that, yes, you probably don't have many bluffs if you raise turn here, and it's probably going to be probably like the nut flush plus, tens, pocket sevens, but still at this level, I think it's probably the best way to win a bunch of money. I would make it maybe like 350. You get a call there, the pot's going to be 1,000, 1,100, and you're going to have like 600 left. Maybe 375, I think, would probably be my target here.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that because I bet 400.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And my thinking was around that I just didn't. I have to say I just wanted the hand to be over at that point. So I bet 400, and small blind folds, MP1 folds, and then the tight aggressive guy goes into the tank and starts mumbling about what do I have, and I'm just frozen staring at the board, and do you have an overpair? And eventually he turns around and he goes all in.
So he back jams all in for what, 600 more? Is that right?
Well, for me, because I was the effective stack, he covered me. I think it was about close to about 400 for me to call.
Well, let's see here. You raised to 400. If you started with 1,000.
No, I raised 400 on top of the 135.
Oh, you made it 535.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's because when I said make it 375, I meant make it 375, not 375 on top. 535, that's really, really large. I mean, this is a situation where I don't know how you're going to, I mean, you might be kind of pot stuck here. Now, your description of this guy being taggy, when somebody sort of flats and then back jams the preflop raiser when they're going to be very, very strong, I mean, this sort of smells like a boat to me because I feel like he would raise off his flush draws against the guy that bet on the turn or just call and then call you because you look super strong. So, if I had made it 375 and this guy back jammed, I could see some sort of crazy fold possibly for me if I only made it 375. If you've made it 535, the pot is going to be like 1,200-ish, 400 for you to call, right? 530. No, actually, it's probably going to be more than that. It'd be 12. Yeah, it's probably going to be like 1,300 or 1,400, like 400 for you to call.
Yeah. I do feel it's a mistake. I agree the sizing. I should have on the turn just had 100 because then I would have had an option. As it was,
I don't think you can fold though, because he might think that he's just gonna. What is he gonna do? Just call and then only have 400 left? You see what I'm saying? Like there might be enough of a time. You're probably going to be getting about 4-1 here, which means there's probably going to be enough of a time where he might just be going with a hand that he doesn't want to just call and then check the river with only $400, like a smaller flush or a 6. I mean, I know it's unlikely, but I don't think you can fold here when you've committed this amount of money.
Well, that was my thought because I didn't really think about it too much. I just said, oh crap, and I called.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned over my nut flush,
Yeah.
and the river came a king of clubs, and he mucked.
Well, there you go. There you go. I mean, that's why you can't, again, that's a kind of a fun little spot, because if I had made it 375 and the guy back jammed, we would be getting less of a price, and I feel like it might be more of a fold, even though I'm not saying that I would fold. But once you pot commit yourself, if the opponent's aware, right, and he just calls the 535, the pot's going to be like 13, 1400. You're only going to have 400 left. So there's nothing wrong. If he wanted to go with his hand on the turn, there's nothing wrong with him just back jamming, because you only have 400 left. That's the thing. I think a lot of people in the chat are like, oh, it's crazy, but it's just because of the function of how much you have left will actually widen the ranges up. And again, if you raised smaller any back jam, I would definitely be more concerned, and you would be getting less of a price. So,
Yeah.
and I think he could have had his 6 too. People are like,
oh, I'm sure.
You know,
I think he had a 6, and I think he, because I normally bet my draws pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
I think he read me on a dry ace or something like that.
I mean, that would be, yeah. And again, you played the hand sort of strangely too, right? Like, you didn't bet the nut flush draw. So if he has a flush here, say he's got like king 9 of clubs or something like that, or like, yeah, say he's got king 9 of clubs, or even like, yeah, I'm trying to think of king jack of clubs. Oh, you have the king. Oh, the king
like
of clubs
queen,
came.
Jack.
Whatever. Well, you have the queen of clubs in your hand, but what I'm saying is that whatever flush he has here, or a 6, he might just think he thinks he's good on the turn, and he's just going to go with it right now, because that's what it is. But thanks for the call. I appreciate it. There's a nice little hand. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button, and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.